the young and the restless spoilers. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It is a crazy day to be a soap fan, and honestly, we are still trying to process what just happened on our screens. Grab a massive cup of coffee because we need to talk about the absolute madness unfolding in Genoa City right now. And just when you think you have seen it all on this show, they hit us with something that makes you literally scream at the television. So let's talk about Diane. We all know she has been missing for what feels like an absolute eternity. Jack has been losing his mind pacing around that giant mansion. Kyle has been a complete nervous wreck. Jack was out here accusing Patty Williams of doing something to her because of that whole crazy boat incident. But no, the writers decided to take things in a completely different, much darker direction. So Diane finally shows up. But guys, the way she showed up is going to give us nightmares for weeks. She literally just appears at the Abbott mansion out of nowhere, and she looks terrible. She has her head completely bandaged up, and you can tell there is a massive, nasty wound underneath all that thick gauze. It is not just a little scratch or a bump. It is a serious, violent head injury. You can almost see the blood seeping through the white bandages. And the wildest part is that she somehow remembered the way back to the Abbott house, like her muscle memory or some deep, hidden, subconscious part of her brain just put her on autopilot and guided her feet right to that front door. But that is literally the only thing she remembered. Her brain just knew the geography of how to get to safety, but it completely erased the people who actually live there. When she walks in, Jack and Kyle are right there in the living room. You can just imagine the scene before the door opened. Jack is probably mid-sentence, stressing out, pulling his hair out, and Kyle is right there with him, trying to calm him down. The door opens, and there she is, Diane Jenkins Abbott in the flesh. Jack and Kyle absolutely panic. I mean, they are thrilled she is alive, obviously, but they are completely horrified by the physical state she is in. Jack rushes over to her, probably trying to pull her into a desperate hug, crying, thanking God she is finally back home. Kyle is right behind him, calling her mom, reaching his hands out to her, but Diane just stares at them. She just looks at him with these blank, terrified, empty eyes. She doesn't recognize Jack at all. She doesn't recognize Kyle. She doesn't know who these two frantic men are who are crying and trying to grab her. What the hell is going on here? Seriously, what the hell? She pulls away from them like they are strangers attacking her on the street. She is looking around the Abbott living room like she just landed on an alien planet and doesn't know the language. Jack is saying her name over and over. Diane, it's me, it's Jack, your husband. He is probably using that soft, pleading voice he uses when he is desperate. And Kyle is practically begging her to look at him and remember her own son. But there is just nothing behind her eyes, just pure fear and total confusion. Her memory is completely wiped clean. Let's be real for a second. We saw what happened to her a few episodes ago. We saw her wake up in that terrifying pitch black room. We saw her crying and screaming in the dark, totally isolated. And then that creepy masked man walked in, and we all know it was Victor Newman. Victor literally kidnapped her, locked her in a dungeon, and told her he was her friend. He told her he was going to protect her. So now we have to ask ourselves some really dark questions. Did Victor cause that head wound? Did he physically assault her to cause this amnesia? Or did she get hurt trying to escape, and he just used it to his sick advantage? Knowing Victor, he probably orchestrated the whole damn thing. He probably made sure she got hit hard enough to scramble her brains, and then he swooped in like a fake savior in that dark room, feeding her a bunch of lies. He wants to use her as the ultimate weapon against Jack. And what better weapon than a wife who doesn't even know her own husband? But sending her back to the Abbott mansion in this state, that is a twisted move, even for the mustache. Maybe he sent her back on purpose just to torture Jack. Imagine being Jack right now. You finally get your wife back, the woman you have been moving heaven and earth to find, the woman you love, and she looks at you like you are a total stranger. It is psychological torture. Victor knows exactly what he is doing. He knows that Jack, seeing Diane broken and bleeding and completely devoid of her memories, is going to destroy Jack from the inside out. It is going to break him faster than any corporate takeover ever could. And poor Kyle, I know Kyle can be annoying sometimes. Okay, maybe I'm being too harsh right now, but he really loves his mother. After everything they went through to rebuild their relationship after she faked her death all those years ago, to have her look at him with zero recognition, that is going to shatter him. Kyle is going to lose his mind trying to fix this. He just got her back in his life a few years ago, and now she is standing right in front of him, but she is essentially gone again. So now, the big question is, what do they do? How do you get her memory back? It is not like she just bumped her head on a kitchen cabinet. She has a massive bleeding wound. There is severe physical brain trauma here, combined with whatever intense psychological torture Victor put her through in that dark room. Jack is going to have to get the best neurologists in the entire world to fly to Genoa City and look at her. But even then, can doctors really fix a memory that has been completely erased by trauma? I bet Jack is going to try to surround her with familiar things. He will probably show her old photo albums, take her to places they used to go, maybe even try to recreate romantic moments from their past to spark something in her brain. But if Victor has been whispering poison in her ear while she was captive, her subconscious might be actively fighting against remembering Jack. Victor might have planted deep hypnotic suggestions in her head that Jack is dangerous, or that the Abbotts are her sworn enemies. Every time Jack tries to get close, Diane's brain might trigger a panic attack because Victor programmed her to fear him. Honestly, I am so tired of Victor getting away with this kind of stuff. I mean, kidnapping a woman and brainwashing her, that is a massive federal crime. That is literal supervillain territory. But somehow, he always manages to keep his hands completely clean. He probably has some perfectly crafted alibi set up, and if Jack even tries to accuse him, Victor will just sit in his expensive leather chair, steeple his fingers, and tell Jack he is being paranoid and pathetic. It makes you want to throw something at the screen. And what about Diane's personality? Will she still be the same manipulative, calculating, smart Diane we all know, just without the specific memories? Or is she a completely blank slate now? Just an innocent, fragile victim? It is so incredibly ironic when you zoom out and think about it. Diane has spent her whole adult life manipulating people, faking her own death, hiding her true identity, and playing twisted games with people's minds. And now someone has completely stripped her of her own identity. It is almost like a sick kind of karma, but it is way too brutal. Nobody, not even Diane, deserves to be locked in a dark room and brainwashed by Victor Newman. I just keep picturing that awful scene at the door. The thick white bandages, the dark blood seeping through, the sheer unadulterated panic. Jack pacing around the room, running his hands through his hair, yelling at someone on his phone to get a doctor to the house immediately. Kyle trying to gently talk to Diane, treating her like a frightened, wounded animal so she doesn't bolt out the door again. Because if she runs away now, in this confused state, she might wander into traffic or freeze to death. She doesn't know who to trust. She is completely vulnerable. And you guys already know the fans on social media are going to completely lose their minds over this twist. Half of them are going to say Diane deserves it for all the pain she caused Nikki and Phyllis in the past, and the other half are going to be crying their eyes out for Jack. It is going to be a massive, toxic divide online. But honestly, I just want to see Jack figure this out and take Victor down for real this time, not just a silly business rivalry over Jabot and Newman Enterprises. I want Jack to find out exactly what Victor did to his wife in that dark room and absolutely destroy him, tear his whole empire to the ground. But we all know how the writers operate. They are going to drag this storyline out for months and months. Diane is going to be wandering around the Abbott mansion looking confused and scared for the next 60 episodes. She might even start bonding with someone completely random in town because she doesn't remember her past history with them. Maybe she will wander out and run into someone like Tucker or even Adam and form a weird new connection. Or worse, maybe she will keep secretly meeting up with Victor because her broken brain thinks he is her only real friend. Oh my God. If she starts treating Victor like her savior while treating Jack like a terrifying stranger, Jack might actually have a literal heart attack. That would be the ultimate twisted victory for Victor. This whole storyline just feels different, though. It feels so much darker than usual. Usually, the Newman and Abbott feuds are about corporate takeovers or sleeping with each other's spouses or petty rich people revenge. But this is physical and psychological violence. It is gritty. It is messy. It makes you feel a little sick to your stomach watching it. So, yeah, we are in for a very long, very bumpy ride, you guys. We have to watch Jack try to put the shattered pieces of his broken wife back together. We have to watch Kyle grieve for a mother who is standing right in front of him. We have to watch Diane struggle to find out who she even is, all while Victor pulls the strings from the shadows like a giant, evil puppet master. I am exhausted just thinking about it. My brain hurts, but I am going to be glued to the screen tomorrow to see what happens next. Because as much as I complain and rant about it, I am completely 100% invested in this chaotic mess. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Am I crazy for thinking Victor planned the head wound himself? Do you think Diane is somehow faking it? No, she can't be faking that kind of massive wound. But who knows with this show anymore? Anything is possible. Literally anything.